Warm welcome, Rebecca here, Reflections from the Saddle. A lot of people get concerned about using food rewards because their horse is nippy. And there's a couple ways around this. There is what Susan Garrett calls it's your choice. And with horses, with dogs, with any kind of animal, you can actually train the way that they are to accept the food reward. And basically the way that Susan Garrett trains it with It's Your Choice is you only get the food reward when you take it in the manner of which I find acceptable. So, for instance, if the horse is nipping at you, they're not going to get the food reward. And this doesn't have to be, this can be just training the food without them having to do a behavior. So in It's Your Choice, I can actually hold the treat out there, and the horse is not supposed to take it out of my hand unless I tell him he can. And so training that, and basically if they go to take it without you saying, you just take it away. And you put it back out there and they go for it again, you just take it away. And you put it back out there, they go for it again, you take it away. Eventually they start to kind of not go for it. And so you can actually then reward them and train them that actually when they look away is when they get the food reward. And you can put it on cue. You can even say, you can put it out there and they don't go for it, then they don't go for it. You can say, get it. I do this with my dog all the time. I mean, my dog, I can drop food on the floor and she will not go after it until I say, get it. Yeah, you're such a good girl. She is taught that she goes up on her dog bed when I'm feeding, and I can put her dog bowl down on the floor and she will not come off that dog bed until she's released. That's the kind of behavior shaping that you can do around food and train them not to be nippy. Now, the other solution would be that you don't ever hand feed the treat, but you put the treat in a bucket. This takes a little bit of finagling if you're out training. You have to have random buckets around. But in essence, this is why you use a bridge signal, so that you don't have to immediately give the food reward. This is used a lot in like dolphin training and stuff like that. Not necessarily a bucket, but you know, the dolphin might be way over there doing the behavior, and then they use whistles to say, yeah, that's what I want, and the dolphin has to swim all the way back to them to get the food reward. And so there can be a time element between if you're using a bridge signal, like a clicker or a whistle, or even a voice command. But you can put buckets, and especially if you're training something that you're going to be stationary in a particular area, and you just toss the food in a bucket. So that's another option. So training them not to nip with how they choose to get their food reward, using alternate ways to give them food. Oh, and the third one I want to talk about is most of the time horses nip, unless they're a stallion or a colt or something like that, which is just sort of natural behavior for them. They nip because they've been indiscriminately given food rewards. Meaning they're just given them for no reason. They haven't earned them by doing anything in particular. You just walked up to them and become a candy dispenser. And so they don't really know why they're getting it, so then they just start begging to get it. And so you have to be careful with that, and you have to be careful with rewarding any sort of begging type behavior. And begging type behavior can be nipping, or fiddling in your pockets, or messing with your coat, or any of those sort of things. So you definitely have to be conscious about how you're using the rewards. I had a lady that once said, oh my gosh, I cannot use food rewards because I went out in the field to catch my horse and I had carrots on me and I got hurt because all the horses started fighting around me. Yeah, like that's just not smart, right? You don't go out in the field with a bucket of grain unless you know that you can control the feet of all those horses around you. And so that takes a very strong trainer to be able to do that. And I don't mean strength-wise, I just mean a smart trainer that's worked with each one of those horses individually. Otherwise you're putting yourself in a bad scenario there. So you have to be smart about it, definitely, for sure. But you can train your horse not to nip, and you can train it without punishing them for nipping. So, hope that answers your question.